الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمد عبده ورسوله. You guys, first and foremost, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope today has been well, your fasting has been going well. Ramadan, half of Ramadan is coming to an end. Inshallah, today's program going to be pretty interesting. I have my mother joining me today, and we'll be discussing her journey to Islam and some of the cool charity projects. We have our dear sister Rosemina, who's going to be who's part of the charity, is one of the trustees, and she's been really the driving force behind creating projects in the community and developing different and empowering people in the community. It's not just about focusing on Muslims only, it's about any person who's in need. And this was the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ. This is not necessarily like a pledge hour kind of thing that we're just going to be asking for money. Obviously, we'll be giving details for the charity. But this is about raising awareness. Brother Zed in the mornings has been encouraging the community and trying to empower the different communities, charities, organizations in our community to raise awareness for their work that they're doing work together in unity and in unison. And this is just an opportunity, inshallah. Many of you probably have heard of Rosemina's outreach project. And it's a local-based charity that works nationally as well as international. And so just to first introduce my mother, my mother's name is Rosemina, hence the name of the charity. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, just quick background. So, how does it feel being my mother? I'm messing around.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Right, and Sister Rosemina?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oops. Right, so in regards to the charity, so what inspired you to actually create this charity? Before the charity, should we discuss like the whole Islam thing first? Briefly? Right, so without sharing too much details with the public, let's figure out how you came to Islam. So just briefly, yeah, the journey and what inspired you.
I've been Muslim for past I think about 40 years.
That's like an old expired stale Muslim.
Exactly.
You can't keep on saying you're a new Muslim when you've been Muslim for 40 years.
When I was about 17, I met my husband, and obviously he's a good Muslim, and he said he was planning the future, and he said we get married, and obviously you have to be a Muslim. So for me, I come from an Islamic
I think your family is pretty mixed, right? In terms of the background.
Ismaili, so they consider themselves half Muslims anyway. So when my husband said, become a Muslim, I said, yeah. So prayed the kalima, Maulana came, prayed the kalima, done nikah, got married. And then when I actually came into Islam, I didn't find anything different between what we were doing here as a Muslim and what my family was doing as a Muslim. And then my eyes opened is when I had my first daughter.
Your first daughter?
Yes.
My little sister. Why did your eyes open? What happened? What was the transfer? I hope that the people online can hear. If you can't, just message me, but hopefully you can. So what happened with your first beloved daughter of yours? And how did that change?
Briefly, obviously, to tell you the truth, I was accepted in the community, meaning that at that time we thought, okay, religion and all that. So then I thought, okay, if I, myself, if I'm a practicing Muslim, then my children will be like that. And then when I started praying and all that, and even before I was not a Muslim, I was very practicing in my own religion. Practicing
in terms of ethical, moral.
Yeah.
And I know that's something which I learned from my mother's family, is that obviously they don't identify as Muslim, but the fact that having good morals, having good ethics, being straight, being decent, good human beings. So that obviously you come from that particular background. How did the family take it when you were obviously coming to Islam or being more practicing, your family?
They found it different, and I was stuck between both the families. Like my family would say, well, your in-laws are not doing it, and my in-laws would say, well, why are you coming up with new things? But all I wanted to do was just pray 5 times a day, listen to what Allah and Allah Rasul said. But what happened was, I struggled for many years just trying to learn how to pray the Quran and everything. But I never gave up. That's the main thing. And obviously one after the other, I had my kids, your brothers. And then Alhamdulillah, the apple of
And then
my
I was
eye.
born.
When
I was born, damn. But before we get to me, is that, you know, this is a point you want to discuss in regards to the converts, is, you know, converts find it very difficult, right? Because you kind of, in that medium, that space in between is that, okay, you maybe even ostracized by your own family. I mean, your family was still obviously supportive, but it was different, obviously changing your way. But at the same time, you're trying to conform to a new religion that you don't know much about, and then the people may not be as practicing. And my father, obviously, is an amazing person too. I mean, he prays the Salah and everything, but at that time, obviously, they weren't as practicing. I think the only thing he knew is you pray Jummah on a Friday and you marry a Muslim, right? So he just knew that if you want to get married, you have to do the Islamic nikah, but he wasn't as practicing. But as your journey continues...
and then Alhamdulillah, obviously I love Islam and I am a Muslim because I want to be a Muslim, just like you said last time. The whole idea. Then Alhamdulillah, Abdul Hameed was born new, the apple of my eye.
God's gift on earth.
No. And then that's when I thought that I literally, you know, all mothers do dua for your children. And I done dua at that time that I want my son to be Hafiz and an Alim, and I want him to be educated in secular education and Islamic education.
That didn't go so well.
It did, in particular. But why is the whole idea is during that time I used to read the Quran every day, and every month I would finish. Remember?
In English, right?
One Quran in English.
My mother couldn't read Arabic. Obviously, Arabic's not a native language, so she couldn't speak Arabic. She couldn't read Arabic, and this was for years.
For years and years.
I think that my elder sister learned Arabic more quickly, and my older brother, than even my mother could before she could read.
Yeah, and even I would struggle. Like, you know, my children would go to mosque and they would come back, and at that time the routine was learn it from home and come, and I didn't know anything, and then my children would be scared to go into mosque, so I would find neighbors. But Alhamdulillah, Allah guided me all the way. So when they would say alif ba ta tha, I would learn it and make sense. The alif zaba is you know, like that, and I learned, but after a while they would know how to learn, so I would be left behind and I wouldn't learn.
So my siblings were a bit more ahead even than my mom. But one thing about my mother, and I'm saying this, is one thing that inspired me is, regardless of the difficult situations we found ourselves in at times, you would always take us to madrasa, right? Sometimes we never had cars, we never had transport.
Never had cars.
We were walking from one place to another. Now it's easy to drive fancy Macs and enjoy ourselves a bit more.
In the rain.
But yeah, regardless, I mean, like, we would go madrasa and she would send us and she would encourage us to. I mean, it could have been so easy for obviously somebody who maybe not as aware of Islam to kind of be a bit more laid back, mashallah, just do our own thing. So my mom wasn't as educated in regards to Islam, but one thing she was passionate about is my siblings learning about Islam, as well as the only reason why I ended up studying Islam is because my mother encouraged me as much as possible to go and study the deen, study the Quran, memorize the Quran, learn about the tradition, build your understanding on it, and that inspired me. But
yeah, that's the main thing is, as I said, because I used to read it in English, so I know what's written in the Quran, and then I mean, Quran is just amazing. Yeah. I mean, please try and read it in English. And remember, every month I would finish one Quran.
So my mom would read every month. She would finish a Quran in English, and then we'd have a little party. We should get the sweets and chocolates.
Exactly.
I think I was like
the kids,
9-10 years old.
What I was reading, we do a halqa of Quran, right? And I would pray that Allah, you know, I would go to mosque and say, please teach me how to pray. That they said, you're too old to learn, you're too old to learn, you're too old to learn. But I never gave up. And in the meantime, my kids were learning. Alhamdulillah, then my apple of my eye, my Mahin was born. And I became, I've got many
That's my younger sister.
Then Mahin was born, and I became even more religious. You know, when I was going to have her, I was fasting and all that. Alhamdulillah, she's great. And then finally at the age of 40, Alhamdulillah, somebody taught me how to read Quran, and that was Masjid Umar. My friend said, "You come, somebody."
What's your Appa's name?
Zora Appa. And my friend Shirin and Rosemina, she says, come, finally, Shirin, come, finally somebody will teach you, because they've opened ladies classes. And oh my God, I thought I won £1 million. So I went there, and you know, obviously at that time my elder daughter was going to get married. I had responsibility, even though I was a housewife, and I still went for a couple of hours. But I only graduated from Nurani Qaida. And the system and everything, it has to be the way Allah and Allah Rasul wants. I graduated from Nurani Qaida, and then I decided to open up my own madrasa. So Mahin, And alhamdulillah, you are there as well. So we opened up our own madrasa.
So this is when my mother opens her own madrasa, when she's actually finally learned how to pray. She was so inspired to start teaching
And the
students.
hadith that I liked is the one that who is best, to the meaning, the one who is best is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it.
That's the words
and
of the Prophet.
And I wanted to be one of them.
خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best of you are those who teach and understand the Quran and learn it themselves, because you get to propagate the message that the Messenger of Allah taught his companions and his Sahaba. And I remember when you went through that little, I want to say little religious kind of thing, but when you deprived me of TV for years.
No, you are the best one. You used to come to
actually,
the mosque.
I was pretty on it back in those days.
You would stand before the television and say, "No, Mom, Maulana Adam said you can't do this. Maulana Adam said that." Alhamdulillah, no, that's the best thing. And you brought Islam, and because I knew what was in the Quran, I wanted, so I done dua that Allah give me a hafiz and an alim, and at the same time, secular education. Why? Is because if you go out there, and if you know, the whole idea is to talk to everybody, to talk to mankind. And if you don't have the degree, if you don't have the, to talk properly, then they will say, oh, just go away, go back to your centuries. And what
you stress that. So when my mother deprived me from TV, I was blessed with Netflix. Shouldn't be watching that in Ramadan either. But it's true. The fact that you should be, like you would always telling us from a young age, focus on your Islamic education, focus on your secular education, develop yourself, have an open mind, appreciate different traditions and religions. And I think that's what from a young age influenced me in terms of growing and appreciating the multiplicity, the multiculturalism in our society. I wasn't indoctrinated into the religion, but I was exposed to different traditions, and you get to grow in your Islam, I think. And I don't think so. If I'm honest, you didn't push us, you didn't force us. You encouraged us in a very positive way.
And use your own mind that this is what you want. You're not forced to do anything, and that's the whole idea. And that way, your yaqeen will be even stronger. And no matter how and what you have, then you remember the words of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, is that if you give me, like you said, that the sun in my right hand and the moon on my left hand, I would still not give up Islam. And this is the condition with me. Alhamdulillah, Allah keep it that way. And that's the whole thing. But at the same time, nobody would know who I am, because I would talk to anybody and anyway, in a sense that obviously I'm in nikah. Because at first we are humans, and I'm saying come back to basics and be humans first. That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
And who are we to judge? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He's the one who will decide who goes to heaven and hell. And our idea is, and we hope that we take as many people as we can to heaven.
Absolutely.
And I know 100% that Allah has made heaven for us. With His mercy, we'll enter there.
Absolutely. And we pray do it, inshallah. So, long story short now is that this then later inspired you after you opened your madrasas.
Yeah.
You have one madrasa in Melton Road, right?
I had 3 at one time. In Mahmoud School, in Shenton School, and now in Melton Road we have a madrasa. And why I wanted to open up a madrasa, as I said, I'm not saying anything to anybody, and this is how I was an Ismaili, and I don't know if you know, apart from the religion, if you look at everything else they do, they are so united. They've got their own...
really supportive of one another.
Supportive, like that. So then what I wanted was, for me, the kids coming to madrasa, it's a shame that today our madrasas, our masjids are empty, and I've never been to the club, but the clubs are filled. Why? Is because, when the children, when they are there, my kids, they come to madrasa, alhamdulillah, they want to come. They want to come. They've been there from the age of 5. They're literally 16, 17. Mezzabin's kids came. That's how I met Mezzabin. They are 15, 16, 17. They don't want to leave. And remember, alhamdulillah, when you were becoming an alim and at the same time you were going to school. And why I opened up a madrasa, as I said, is I believe there's a tug of war between parents and school, between their culture and our culture, and the kids are in between, and they're only 5, 6, 7 years old. You go to school, they're tired and say, okay, go to sleep all day. When you 2 hours in madrasa, they say, oh, all day you're in school. So, can't you do 2 hours? But nobody understood kids. So that's when I opened up a madrasa in Shenton.
In Shenton.
And spoke to the teacher, and I said, you know what, after school, let them come, right? Cut out the hours, 1.5 hours. First of all, give them biscuits and drinks, give them sweets. If I had money, I would give them £1 to attend my madrasa, not the other way around. The fact that in this snow, in this weather, these 5, 6, 7-year-old kids are coming and reading the Quran. These are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not yours and my words. Alhamdulillah, and to see all that, the way they are dedicated, you know, us as in madrasa, we should inspire them, we should encourage them, not hit them or say anything that, oh, you don't know this, you haven't prayed this, you know, this is not my way of, and I am a sort of a person, give on to others what you'd like to receive.
Absolutely.
So
I think that's a really inspiring message, and again, this is an example of, you know, I think that also the work you've done, you need to highlight, is working with, obviously as Muslims here, we are ethnic minority from the Asian perspective, but you really focused on developing the African Somalian community too. A lot of kids who sometimes...
Yes, you remember?
No, I remember that clearly because when I was teaching some of these students, and you still work with that with that community, which I feel sometimes we become so sectarian that we're not as inclusive as we should be. And especially as the community was migrating and still are migrating, a lot of teething issues that the community was dealing with, and I mean, parents who couldn't even afford to bring their kids to madrasa, you used to let them come for free.
Until now.
On top of that, you used to give them lots of food. I mean, parents who sometimes couldn't afford food, or sometimes they needed financial aid and support. You actually, I mean, these kids were almost being paid to actually come and study with my mum.
I think you know more about my life than I do.
No, I mean, this is an example of Imam Hanifa, right? Sometimes some of his own students who were amazing, bright young people, because they were financially dependent to make sure that they were able to secure financially their family, so they had to go to the marketplaces and work. But because they were so studious, and Imam Hanifa saw such wisdom in them and such, you know, potential, that he would actually pay some of them, like when we said tuition fees, right? He should pay them to come and study and say, give this money to your family and give me your time. And I think that's really empowering. Obviously, madrasa should be self-sustaining. They should be financially stable. I'm not saying we shouldn't be charging, but we also have to be looking out to the needs of the community.
And individual.
Absolutely.
Individual. You can't look at everybody with the same brush, paint everybody with the same brush. Individual child, even in your own family, you have few children, the needs are different as well. And remember, they've all grown up. They were saying, these were new Muslims. And they were saying that, Appa, we are not accepted in masjid, in our own community. We are of nowhere. Why don't you open a madrasa? And as I said, I just qualified from Nurani Qaida. And obviously you were there, Mahin was there, Samir was there, and then I said okay, and you know, they said Bismillah. And alhamdulillah, it's been something like 13, 14 years, more than that, and actually.
Absolutely.
Some of my kids have got married now as well. I teach, so many years, you know, alhamdulillah, going straight.
But moving on to the next part is, this then led you obviously to because you are reflecting the needs of the community and society, the parents that we were involved with, the children who are coming from economically deprived backgrounds. This then inspired you towards. You've done so much charity work with so many different organizations in Leicester. I know a lot of people do know you, but you then thought you want to put the bureaucracy aside, all the politics aside. You need aid to support the most disempowered people in the community and society, which then led you to opening your own charity, Rosemina's Outreach Project. And I think Rosemina can inshallah explain as somebody who's a valuable member of this charity. Again, like I described, the driving force. So what's the background of the charity?
First of all, Jazakallah. Well, the background of this charity was Rosemina's Outreach Project. It comes from the bottom. It's okay, if you look at the charity itself, Rosemina's Outreach Project started because Abba put it into me that, you know, I used to do fashion shows for schools, I used to do different charity events for schools. So Rosemina Abba said, let's do something for the community, let's do something for the world around us. And I said, yeah, why not? Locally and globally, why not? Started off working together and doing Rosemina's Outreach Project for Syria, and that was the most needy at that moment, where we thought that's where it was needed mostly. It did work really, really well. We had loads of people know us from everywhere. I'm born in Leicester, and obviously the community out there knows me as well. When it came to Rosemina's Outreach Project, I got to know my friends, my background, where I come from, the community that I live in, and I know that There was more than just Muslims there. There was the non-Muslims. There was people who had no food in the house. I would say were struggling to earn meat ends, sorry. And the kids, they were struggling when they used to go to school. The uniforms they used to buy, they couldn't buy the uniforms, so they used to look for second-hand uniforms. They couldn't buy things like food for the house. The fridge used to be empty. And you think to yourself, you know, why not do one step ahead? Why not go and help the community out there? So we started doing a project together, me and Abba, where I came up with this idea. I got hold of anyone and everyone who I knew, put the word out where we said, if you need something, there's no forms to fill in, just give us a call. And we gave the number out. And when we gave our number out, I think for a whole 2-3 weeks, the phone was not stopped ringing. It was like constantly on call. And I would take out my car, my 7-seater, and fill it full of food, packets, boxes, go out in Leicester, running around one door to another door and drop off boxes outside the doorsteps. Sometimes people didn't even know me, so now you know me. So a lot of times people didn't know me, who I was, where I came from, why there was a box that said on top, Rosemina's Outreach Project logo, and it said, it's a gift from us to you, you know, and they were shocked. And there was a number there, so they could ring that number and they could say thank you, or they can leave a message for us. If they want anything else, they can leave a message. And it worked so well. It went so widely in Leicester. At the moment, if you go to look, people follow me on Facebook. There's about 700 to 800 people that follow me because of Rosemina's Outreach Project. Your Facebook name, if people understand? Well, first of all, under Mesmin Malida, you'll find everything about Rosemina's Outreach Project. There's a page called Rosemina's Outreach Project. So if you want, you can connect through me to Rosemina's Outreach Project as well. But I'm just putting it, just be a friend of mine, you'll be accepted straight away as it is. If I haven't accepted you, I do apologize, because sometimes you get really busy. I've got 5 kids. You know, we are volunteers and we try our level best. So inshallah, just add yourself onto a request and inshallah we'll accept you.
And I'll be adding the details of the charity also at the bottom of this post and on the live stream too. But this is just again like raising awareness. So that's just a brief background of the charity.
And the main point was that the main point was that when we send a container out, we work with Masjid Taiba. And the main point of our charity is, alhamdulillah, for past 5 years we've sent something like over 30,000 pounds worth of food to Syria. But main thing is that we bought everything locally, because I wanted the economy of this country, this is our home, to grow. So we bought everything from here and then we send out the container. And here I would buy from Hindus, I would buy from Muslims, I would buy from everybody who would give us the good service, because I'm old and I can't pick anything and drop, and give us a good price.
And what's been so cool, I think, obviously with the network of support that both of you have created, is a lot of non-Muslim community was so, I mean, helpful towards storing some of the food, giving some of the food, donating so much of the food. I mean, yeah, these are non-Muslim millionaires, right? Some of them.
Exactly. And the fact is that they were first of all, they were shocked the way I'm dressed. And then when I introduced myself and said, okay, this is Rosemina's Outreach charity project, and first they think I'm a beggar, so I've come to take something free. So I said, no, I haven't come here to beg or anything like that. I've come here to buy on wholesale, and we have a project going to Syria. And alhamdulillah, you know, and they're so impressed, and they'll tell other people, the sister is doing Rosemina's Outreach Project, and then, you know, when we get the video from Syria, when it comes, first time we stored everything up in Colosseum, and a massive warehouse collected, and everything has to be new, because as I said, give on to others what you'd like to receive, everything new. It's not that we, you know, use this as a dustbin, because dustbins are free here anyway. It would cost us a lot of money to send a container out. So everything new, people would donate. They would donate if our donate, you know, the people who donated, they would wear Nike clothes. They would go and buy identical and come and give it to us and say, Papa, go and drop it off to Syria, because this is what you're saying. And straight away, that would go straight there.
I think that's just a quick point, if I can interject. I think that's a really key point that you're making. That when we give in charity, obviously you can recycle and reuse some of the stuff that you have. That's fine. I mean, that's still a form of charity. But the charity that the Quran talks about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَسْتُمْ بِآخِذِهِ إِلَّا أَن تُغْمِضُوا فِيهِ. That don't spend in God's path that, you know, the ghamada means, you know, when you like close and squint your eyes because something is so disgusting. Because don't give in charity, that's when the things that's how you would respond to it. Like you would even, it's so vulgar, you don't even look at it. And the verse of the Quran, the 4th juz, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. That you don't attain righteousness and piety until you spend of that which you love. part of charity is giving the things that have been used, and then giving things which are decent, and then spending from that which you actually like and love, like something that you itself would prefer. We have the stories of Talha radiallahu anhu, who gave his vineyard in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is the sunnah of the companions and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So spending from that which you yourself like, spending from that which you want. Obviously, it's important to get value for money. No one's telling you that you go and spend £150 on your shoes and you go spend £150 on charity. You can buy cheaper shoes, but to the value of 150. But I'm saying is that you give from that which you love. You give from that which you yourself would prefer. Therefore, you're lucky for your brother, your sister in need.
Exactly, because in Syria, obviously, they are living in camps. There's snow. They need boots. They need warm blankets. They need warm clothes. Now, there's no point in going and giving them wedding dresses and heels and stuff like that. So that's what I meant. Like that, but alhamdulillah, everybody's been supportive and everything.
We've done the trip. We've sent containers to Syria, multiple containers sent to Syria. We went to France a few years ago, which was
amazing.
Yeah, that was a cool trip.
So Syria, and as I said, when Brother Rashid came, so I rang Brother Rashid, and what happened was, Brother Rashid was sending out containers, and his containers were not getting filled. So then I called him, and he had tears in his eyes and said, "Sister," and we've been working with him for past 5 years. When we showed him the first time, it was like, he had tears in his eyes, and he had to bring a huge container and said, "Take everything." And then when he sent the videos, when the children received it, the du'as they gave and everything, and when we saw it, we had tears in our eyes. And every time I would see a video, I'd do more. Then we started doing Syria, then France, and then Malawi. Recently in Romania, alhamdulillah, 2 student doctors, alhamdulillah, from Iraq. It's a 6-year journey to become a doctor. In the 5th and 6th year, they couldn't get any fees or anything like that, and
to give them best support.
So then obviously
we provided them with the funds. We forwarded the funds to them, so that
the person who's there, he's my boss. So the person who's studying there rang me and said, "Auntie, this is the situation here in Romania, and can we do something?" And before that, what he done was, I sent him the funds, and from Syria, they ended up in Romania, and there was no food, nothing. When they walk, and we see on the television and everything that they walk. At the end of the day, where have they ended up? So they would end up in Romania, and Romania, I believe, is -14 or something, no clothes, nothing. And then when Muzammil told me that, "Auntie, they don't even have basic necessity." And if you go on my Facebook page, Rosemina's Outreach Project, you'll see the photos and everything. What do you need? And he said basic things. So I sent him the money. He went and bought it with his doctor's friends and everything. Made a journey, delivered everything, and alhamdulillah, Muzammil said that even the guards outside, they had tears in their eyes that finally somebody came and helped them.
This is in Romania, right?
In Romania,
areas that are deprived.
And again, go to Rosemina's Outreach Project, and you'll see all the photos and everything.
You see the videos, the photos, everything there.
And then he would see people in the masjid, and he would help. Masjid needed a rebuilding, roof, so we helped. Then finally he said, "These are 2 doctors. Doctors are service to humanity, and like you said, Rosemina's Outreach Project is here to serve the humanity." And so, "Auntie, they've only got 2 more years, and if we don't help them, the friends were helping, then they will go back again. Can we do something?" And alhamdulillah, some of our people who donate, give them jazaya khair in this world and hereafter. Alhamdulillah. First of all, Mezabin's family, Watergate, Faridba, and some of our people who give us donation. One person just pay the fees. It's all the way from Nuneaton, and he'll see and he'll know regularly. So he supported them. So he paid last year's fees and this year's fees for a girl and a boy. Two student doctors, and they are graduating next month. Can you imagine?
No, that's empowering. And also some of your donors who obviously we want to remain private, we don't mention the names for those who want to be anonymous, but I mean, these guys are millionaires, right? So, I mean, some of them give zakah 15,000, 20,000 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Alhamdulillah.
Which is amazing.
And we used to have every time we used to have bazaar, and then, like you said, then these people got on board, and so for past 2 years I didn't do any bazaar because we had enough money to do all our projects. In Malawi, in here right now, we've opened up a project in Pakistan, Rawalpindi, and again a small village. We made food parcels and all that.
That's right.
So we've started that because in Romania he's coming back. So obviously we've you know, the person there won't be anymore there, meaning he's coming back because he's graduating as well. So then we moved on to
our next project.
To our next
Yeah,
project.
which is going to
But
be
having
Pakistan,
done all that here in England, you'll see again, if you go to Rosemina's outreach project, literally people, like you said, are on the street. There was one here, just staying here somewhere on Co-op, Paul or something like that.
Yeah.
Remember?
Then the sleeping
They
bags
don't have
and
sleeping bags,
everything
they
for
don't
them.
have food, and you'll see. And again, we would give them new clothes, we would give them sleeping bags, we would give them blankets, we would give them shoes, and they would
It's
be
on
so happy.
Rosemina's Outreach Project page on Facebook, where you will actually see the pictures where we buy the tents. I give a shout out to a lot of people that do work with us, who are non-Muslims. Ali Reynolds. There's Rachel. She works with us. There's so many other ladies that actually do give hand to hand with us and provide us with information where it's most needed. We try to give them the tents, the folding tents. They were easier, reusable ones. We got the blankets for them, the foil blankets for the homeless people that are on the streets. We got the tents, we got the sleeping bags.
One of them was living in the
fields.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Remember, we were
Kyle.
giving food and
I'd like to give him a shout out. Kyle and Rian.
What's their background quickly? Very quickly.
It's a very quick one I'm going to give you. They used to live in a field for 3 years, and what happened
This
was...
is an open field,
This
right?
is an open field off Uppingham Road, off Humberston Road, on that side. Yes, Stratford Lane, somewhere there. It was amazing because what happened was, for a good 3 years they were on the fields, horses, riding past, breaking the tents and everything. I got approached one day at Butlins, went for a family holiday, by this lady and gave me his number. I contacted him. Rosemina's Outreach Project arranged a meeting where we said, let's go and give them what they need. We started giving them food parcels, started getting the community, so our volunteers out there in Leicester.
Well, remember?
Yeah, he had a little dog. He's got a little dog. It's lovely. So we got the whole of the community together on Facebook, and people were going there on a daily basis to give them food, morning, afternoon, and evening. So it wasn't only Rosemina's. It was the team, which is the outside community that was helping us out there. So thank you to everyone.
And the whole idea was to get him out of that field into a home.
Yes, and we did. And we managed to get him out.
And he got a house, where? Near Jamia Mosque.
He got a house near Jamia Masjid last 2 years ago in Ramzan. And that day was the first day of Ramzan, and he was starving. And I remember him ringing me. And I put it on Facebook that anyone near Jamia Masjid, because I know everyone near Jamia Masjid. So I said, anyone near Jamia Masjid, can you go and give him some food? And he goes, constantly for a few months there was food in his house, alhamdulillah. And he didn't know me, he didn't see my face. I remember him outside B&M because my husband called me my name, and he turned around and said, are you the one that was donating food to me and clothes and shoes and everything? And I looked at him and said, how do you recognize me? And he goes, just the name.
And this is the whole idea that you see, homelessness is it could occur anytime to anyone.
Absolutely.
Like we say, two wages slip you don't get. 2 wages in 2 months you don't get, and everything, because everything is mortgaged and everything.
And a lot of people who are working, obviously, even they're going through financial difficulty and stress.
And it's a catch-22. What happens is you cannot pay your mortgage, so you're homeless. And if you go and claim anything, then they'll say go and get an address, and this is what it is. And once you're out there, it's just down.
And I think the key thing is that it's not only feeding people, it's about empowering people, getting them back on their feet, getting back into employment, creating the network in our community to support each other. Because
that's another thing that
and this is where this comes in. So talk about
so
this.
inshallah,
we need your donations. We put up
I would really encourage you guys, inshallah, that you guys can donate directly.
We don't have any more funds to do any more project. We're at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, the thing is that we don't end up storing so much money, right? It's like projects come in, we just put in the money, and then we raise so much more. We do so many events. So a lot of local support from people who are listening, people who are part of the community who want to support, inshallah. So Rosemina's outreach project, you guys can go into you can make online donations. You can go into the Facebook page and check it out. I'm going to put the account number and the sort code and everything on this post right now, inshallah. Again, the account number is 01261501. Sort code is 300083. All of these details I'll put up when this program is finished, inshallah, in the comment section. But again, we're just raising awareness. And another opportunity we have, which is inshallah on the 9th of June and the 10th of June, on the Saturday, Sunday, Rosemina's outreach project, inshallah, will have a Ramadan family shopping event at the sports lounge. So any stall, people who want to have stalls, or people who want to inshallah get involved, or people who want to donate, or people who just want to come and check it out. There'll be various stalls, waffles, food, cakes, abayas. I mean, it's going to be fasting, but hijabs, pick and mix sweets.
It is a mixed family event.
It is, absolutely. And this fundraising event is inshallah to raise money. The key focus is whatever we can raise money from this event is to buy rice and milk powder to send a container again out to Syria. The situation again is getting pretty serious out there. So you can come and support, you can donate your sadaqah, your zakah, your lillah, your fidya, whatever you choose to. Zakah obviously is used for particular zakah issues, and obviously other forms of charity, in terms of sadaqah and stuff, can be used for local projects. But zakah is given obviously for those who qualify for zakah. But please do come down. So this will be Rosemina's outreach project, a Ramadan family shopping event on Saturday 9th of June and Sunday the 10th of June. Any stall holders and stuff who want to get in contact, you can phone my mum directly on 07939682335. I'll be plugging this inshallah throughout next week as well on my events. But again, we're just trying to raise awareness. If you can participate, if you can help, all the money obviously is going into charity. Nobody's actually even employed by this charity. It's just total 100% donation policy, where we are, the money that we get is just going to charity projects, as well as some of the gift aid that people are being received. Again, that's being reinvested into charity projects. So it's beyond even 100% donation policy that people are able to benefit from. So again, just to repeat, this will be on the 9th of June and the 10th of June. And this whole project is focusing on raising money to buy rice, buy milk powder, to fill a container that inshallah will be going out to Syria. So inshallah, if you do have an opportunity, do attend the sports lounge. But continuing from that, we only have the next 8 minutes. Let's leave the people with some inspiring messages. I think, something that I did talk about your journey to Islam, and how you've been able to come to the religion, study so much of Islam yourself, and as well as with your teachers, inspire me, my brothers and sisters, to learn about Islam, empower and help me to support and keep on engaging in my da'wah work. But what is the key message, you think? If you can give one message to the people who are listening right now, what would it be?
Do good. Believe in Allah and do good. And your reward is with Allah.
Yeah, and do things for the sake of Allah, right? There should be no politics involved. There should be no ulterior motive involved.
You don't need anything in return.
Absolutely.
The only thing in return that you need. So
the help Allah's help will come. At the end of the day, you're not going to take anything. Like my brother passed away in January. Allah give him Jannat al-Firdaus.
This is my mum's younger brother, my uncle.
All of a sudden, and he's buried here in Shafar Lane. And I visit him every single day. Again, you need to talk about women visiting the Qabristan. We are allowed. And what it is that I visit him every day, obviously in a respectable manner. And my point is, when I stand before his grave, I realize that we're not going to take anything, because at Zohar time, I stand on my musalla. And in the whole world, this is your space, and in there, either you put your good deeds or your bad deeds, and you're going to end up with that.
Absolutely, and this is my uncle, my mother's referring to her younger brother. He was staunchly, I would say, against Islam initially. When you were growing up, a lot of debates, a lot of discussions used to go back and forth. And then he read the Quran, and we used to spend all night. I remember when I was a kid, when I was growing up and when I was studying, and I used to spend so much time researching, trying to answer his questions, and I would struggle. He's a really intellectual, articulate young person, and he really made me grow in my understanding and the way I express myself. But then he finally accepted Islam, and it was just amazing, right? But he prayed his kalima, he's trying to get into his salah, he's reading the Quran. Believed from his heart, he was actually convinced of the truth of Islam. But he was the youngest from all your siblings, and sadly, he passed away. I remember the text messages that was going around. We had an awesome response from the community. He asked me, he wasn't diagnosed with any particular long-term chronic illness, But when I came back from a janazah, he used to come to my house. We used to spend days at my house. We used to play chess at night. We used to have fun. But when I came back from a janazah, he asked where I was, and I explained to him what the janazah is and what people attend and what my role is as an imam in the community.
live in London.
Yeah, so he's based in London, but he used to come to Leicester to come and show me and my kids. And so he said to me, in a passing comment, he said this twice to me, he said, I want you to lead my janazah. Which was a strange thing for him to say to me. Which I was like, okay, I will. And he goes, I want people to attend, right? I want as many people to come, because he realized, obviously, he doesn't know many people in London in terms of Muslims, and he thought nobody would attend the janazah. And he said, I want to be buried in Leicester if possible, so at least people can attend, at least you will able to come and pray for me. He said this twice to me, and I thought, yeah, okay, maybe he's just feeling a bit emotional, he's saying these things. When he passed away, these words hit me.
We never saw him again.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the last time I actually saw him.
We never saw him.
When he said that to me, I was just so shocked and so taken aback. And then we heard the news in January that he had passed away. We were shocked. But the response from the community was awesome. I was able to lead his janazah. You know, that brought so much closure to me, honestly. Me personally, I was so sad. I was emotionally drained. And when I led his janazah, leading a community, standing in front of his body, and I thought, you know, this is like a full circle. And I couldn't have given him a better send-off than we did. Right? Me and my close friends performed his ghusl. We prayed for him all night. We recited the Quran on his behalf. But like I said, exposing people to Islam in a meaningful way. I cannot stress that enough. Right? Whether you're engaged in charitable activities or in organizations, whether you know about Islam or whether you're not as much about practicing Muslims, it could be whatever it is. You are the face of Islam, right? So get out there, expose people to Islam in a meaningful way. Like my mother, you don't necessarily have to be born in a really religious family or have a strong Islamic upbringing. My mother converted to Islam. She was inspired by the religion. She's now become the shepherd of the family. Even when I'm leading Jummah, she's still asking if I've prayed or not. All right, the fact that it's been inspiring, and this hopefully why I brought my mother on today was to inspire the community to listen to her story and. Inshallah, encourage other people to get involved with any charity. I'm not just saying this is exclusive only for Rosemina's Outreach Project. Any good that you can do, go for it. Work with charities, work with different organizations, support one another. Don't get involved in the sectarianism in the communities, and help develop young people. But our sister Rosemina, if you want to say last few, we've got 3 minutes. If you want to, inshallah, give the last few quick.
Well, first of all, please don't give up. We need your support. We need you guys to be there for us. I love the community up here, and I know that everyone is on our backside, but we don't want anything in return. What we give, that's it. It's just the du'as. What we give, what we do matters. That's what matters. Rosemina's Outreach Project is not just one charity. It works with every charity in Leicester. We've worked with One Nation. We've worked with other charities, ANO. I support each and every charity with Rosemina Appa. I know that there's people out there that say, oh, you know what, we'll give it to this charity, we'll give it to that. But we will do that as well. That's what we do. We see that someone is in need of sleeping bags, we'll go to that charity and we'll give it to them. If we've got it, we give it. That's what our job is. It's because we're scared of Allah. We know that Allah's watching us. And what's the point of keeping something in the house when you can give it to someone who can use it? At least someone else would use it. Charity work together, it makes a lot of difference. That's the main thing.
And you've been able to do awesome work supporting the charity whilst Allah's blessed you with 5 children, right?
Alhamdulillah.
Which is amazing.
It's all voluntary.
Alhamdulillah.
How old is your youngest? Right?
My youngest is 2, my eldest is 19.
That's an amazing age range. And again, you spent an incredible amount of time going out, working with the charity, supporting my mother, getting involved in the needs of people.
So respectable, alhamdulillah.
I respect you for bringing me in this path. Alhamdulillah.
If you are not bored, then you can call us again.
Yeah. What we'll do, inshallah, is in the last minute or so, just to encourage people, is in these days of Ramadan, like I said, Ramadan is not just about charity. We are raising awareness for charity, but it's not just about charity and charity fields. Yeah, it's about focusing on developing yourself. Now, charity is a manifestation of your inner self in terms of your longing and your connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you're at the service of humanity. But the focus is that you want to, inshallah, continue building that connection with Allah, read the Quran, develop your understanding, engage in some charity work if you are able to, support with your donations, support all the different charities that are out there. If you do want to, inshallah, help develop and contribute to this charity, it's called Rosemina's Outreach Project. It's available on Facebook. Go check out the page. All the details are there where you can contribute your zakah, your sadaqah. Inshallah, on the 9th and the 10th of June, on a Saturday and a Sunday, there'll be a Ramadan family shopping fest at the sports lounge. So if you do have an opportunity for stall holders who want to, inshallah, have the stalls, wherever you like, you can contact my mother on 07939682335.
They have my donate page online as well.
Yeah, the donation page is also available online. Inshallah, I think we've got a few more sessions on the radio. I'll bring you on. We can, inshallah, discuss some of these issues, some of the social issues, how we can empower women in the community.
Yeah.
And this is to show that nobody can restrict you when you want to help and support the community, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, whether you're a practicing Muslim, not as practicing, whether you have manpower or support. This is my mother, who was a one person who had that, empathy, that zeal, that focus, that passion that created that change within her environment. And that's the passion that she exhibits and exudes that is almost so infectious that it empowers me to continue pushing forward. And she's always reminding me to be sincere, to reach out to the communities, to be empathetic towards the people's needs. Don't be so judgmental. Don't be caught up by sectarianism, and be at service to humanity. So guys, Jazakallah for listening. Again, this is for Rosemina's outreach project on the 9th of June and 10th of June. Inshallah, there'll be at the sports lounge, there'll be a family shopping event. You guys have a good, inshallah, evening. Hope you enjoy your iftar. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.